Add-ons. They've been a thing for quite a long time. Sega decided to throw their own take on it with the Sega CD add-on. Now, why the Sega CD failed is a video for another time. That's not the subject. It is noteworthy that it has what many consider to be the best Sonic game ever made, Sonic the Hedgehog CD. Let's take a look. Sonic CD was developed by Naoto Oshima in Japan while Yuji Naka worked on Sonic CD in America. Thus, both games were being developed at the same time. It's a mess of ideas that all came together. So Sonic CD was eventually stemmed off from Sonic 2 and became its own game. So as always, we'll start with the plot. Dr. Robotnik has enslaved Little Planet, a planet that appears once every year, and Sonic is on his way to save the day. So before we begin, we have a nice little opening animation that plays before the beginning of the game. It looks so cool. The way Sonic moves is how I've always wanted him to move. It's so well animated, and you got the song Sonic Boom playing throughout. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think the people who animated this went on to do the Sonic OVA a few years later. The graphics have definitely seen an enhancement due to being on a CD-based console. Watching Sonic go up a 3D loop was jaw-dropping the first time I saw it. The version I'm playing was the 2011 port for the Xbox 360 done by Christian Whitehead, who is handling Sonic Mania, and it shows. Enhanced with widescreen presentation, you can even play as Tails in this version, but I'll cover him for the next review. You can even switch between the American and Japanese music if you want to, so if there's a version to get, I recommend this one. The music sounds much more electronic in this game compared to previous games. I don't really mind that as it gives Sonic CD its own identity. Also, the game over music is the stuff of nightmares. Sonic plays exactly as he did in Sonic 2, which is because, as I found out, this port polished him to play that way, though you can play as him in the original style if you so choose. Though he has a much faster run animation this time around. He's still got the spin dash, and he's still got that waiting animation. Yeah, I'm gonna make you wait. Keep waiting. Huh? Wait a minute. Did he just leap off the screen, getting rid of all my lives? You little shit! Sonic CD retains the power-ups from the first two games. Invincibility, shield, and running shoes. There's no Super Sonic this time around, but that does make sense because Sonic is dealing with different emeralds this time around. Sonic CD's level design is exactly like the first two games, but this one has a gimmick. Time travel. Sonic can travel to both the past and future of each zone he is in. By building up and maintaining a high speed, Sonic will warp through time. The past zone is usually a lush paradise from before Robotnik took over. If you go to the future, it's a desolate wasteland with pollution and all kinds of environmental destruction. Thus, your goal in Sonic CD is to travel to the past and find a generator that's going to cause the zone to become a wasteland. Once you destroy that, the zone's future becomes good, so it turns into a paradise with mixes of nature and technology. A nice, subtle little message that instead of getting rid of nature or technology, a nice balance of both would be the key to paradise. Sonic's always had environmental messages now that I think about it. Back on track, if you come across a generator in the present, it's destroyed. Thus, you have to go back to the past. Getting a good future in both zones will cause the third zone to have a good future. If not, the future will be bad. There is a way to get a good future in all zones. You have to get all the time stones. How do you do that? By going to special stages, of course. By getting 50 rings and leaping through a goal ring at the end, you're treated to another round of special stages. This one takes a 3D view and you have to destroy these UFOs before the time runs out. Gotta say, that's kinda random. You have a time limit, and for the love of God, do not run on the water. That'll send your time sprawling down much faster. Let me get this out of the way. I hated the later ones. 5 through 7, they are a nightmare to go through. You jump at them, but you gotta time your jumps just right, or you won't hit. Oh, it's so frustrating. I had to restart I don't know how many times. So whatever the case, you get all the time stones, you get a good future in all zones, and you unlock the good ending. More on that later. Sonic CD can be very challenging and confusing at times. My Xbox 360 controller kept crapping out on me as I was playing, even after I changed the batteries, so that led to extra frustration on my part. Not the game's fault, but it was still frustrating. Let's just go into each of the zones. There are 7 rounds, yeah, they're called rounds in this game, with 3 zones, which they are called instead of acts, and with the various past, present, and future versions of each level, you essentially have many different variants of each zone, which increases this game's replayability. Let's start with Palm Tree Panic. It's the opening level, so it plays just like any other Sonic game you'd expect. Not really a whole lot to say about this one, other than it does the job of introducing you to the mechanics of the game. Collision Chaos. This level shows Amy Rose, Sonic's wannabe girlfriend who has somehow managed to follow him to the little planet. But out of nowhere, Metal Sonic shows up and grabs her and takes her away. Kinda weird that you can't do anything about it. It's a forest level with some casino elements to it. Tidal Tempest. Oh joy, an underwater level. Sonic and underwater levels don't mix, and this one adds uncontrollable sections where you spin around. It's really unnerving when it happens. Quartz Quadrant has a lot of conveyor belts and platforms. It's a very active mine for what it is. I just wish it would decide what theme it was going for. Wacky Workbench. This level is annoying because it deludes you into thinking that you have multiple paths, when really you don't. You can bounce off the floor, which can lead to some cheap shots, and there are these things that freeze you. Ugh. Not looking forward to touching this one again. Stardust Speedway. This level is very fast, but it can be very confusing with all the loops and turns you have to go through. Whoa! Yeah, wow! Wow, I think I'm gonna be sick. But the most memorable thing about this level is that you fight Metal Sonic at the end. In a one-on-one race, Sonic must beat Metal Sonic to the end, all while Robotnik is chasing you with a laser. If you get hit by it, you are dead. This can lead to some cheap level design. Ugh! Oh! God damn it! Oh, just come on! I died 9 times at this part! 9! Eventually, you make it through to the end and you rescue Amy. Look at him. He looks like he'd rather be anywhere but there. Metallic Madness. Madness is right because this level drove me mad. So many cheap tricks. There's this one part where Sonic shrinks down, which I thought was an interesting design. Too bad it's only used once. So you get to the final confrontation with Robotnik, who is once again pretty easy. He only takes 4 hits. So with Robotnik down for the count, Amy runs up to Sonic. You're treated to the ending FMV where Sonic is left running with Amy out of Little Planet. Sonic makes it out and pretty much goes, "Please leave me alone." So Sonic heads back to check on Little Planet and it's set free, pretty much thanking Sonic for its freedom. So you're treated to some creative credits that shows what Sonic was doing throughout his adventure. If you manage to get the good ending, you're treated to a shot of some flowers spawning, which shows you that yes, you got the good ending. It's a nice little reward. So that's Sonic CD. I won't deny, I had some frustrations with the level design. It can be confusing, but it's a good game in its own right. I probably enjoy it less than Sonic 1 and 2, but it's definitely a good Sonic game. But we return to the Sega Genesis next time, as I'll be covering what I consider the best Sonic has to offer. We're performing double duty as we'll be looking at Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles. Thanks for watching, this is RetrospectGreg signing off, take care.